Now, what do we have here? We have, we're going to start assembling this movement back into its case. And normally you would put the hands on, or the dial on, put the hands on, mount it up into the case. We're going to do things a little differently, and I think this will work because this is a top loader. We're going to put the case together. Believe it or not, there are parts to it. The pushers, as you see right here, have blued steel springs attached to them. There's two of them, obviously two pushers. Had them in the ultrasonic cleaner. They had some rust on them, so I wanted to get that cleaned up. I have, what do we have here? I have clock oil, which is a heavier oil, I guess you would call it. It's heavier than anything you would put in a watch. And it looks like motor oil, actually. And I'm going to rub some between my fingers with the glove, and I'm going to coat those springs. There's really no seal around those pushers or buttons, whatever you want to call them, to keep moisture out. If I put a coating of oil on them, it should keep things pretty nice. And it's just a light smear of oil, a little more in there, that's going to keep that from rusting. Hopefully it won't be exposed to much moisture, but you know, you can get moisture from anywhere, sweat, perspiration, whatever you want to call it. And these are just going to get inserted into this groove on the case. Let's see, where's one of them? There we go. You can see the hole for the stem, and these pieces are just going to go in like so. Right into that groove. There you have it. You can see how that's working. It holds it in the groove, and it is the return spring for that. And that little lubrication that's on there will help this return, keeping the moisture out. And that spring, you can see how it's not quite in that groove. It just sits right in there. So pretty simple, pretty slick. I like things that are simple. Like I said, no seal to hold them in or to keep moisture out. So we are not going to worry. You know, something you just don't have to worry about. No seal. Don't worry about it. Okay. I'm going to take the gloves off because I got oil on them. Next, we're going to mount the movement into the case because it's a top loader, and the dial feet screws are axial to the movement, not radial, if that makes sense. So we can gain access through the back of the case. Hands are a little sweaty, so the gloves are fighting me. So let's get to that. Maybe this is unorthodox. Maybe this is not a preferred way to do it. However, having it in the case, having it cased up, it's nice to handle. It can. Here we go. You can see it ticking away. We can have it mounted up so when we mount the hands to it, we have the case holding everything. That's what I like. So we're going to just drop that in. Okay, there it is, top loader, right in the case. We can put our stem in. Trixie, calm down. Trixie, you're such a nut. Relax. She's after something. Let me do. I'll put a little schmutz oil on that stem. And the stem has to be the stem releases a screw that let's point that out. The screw holds that piece in, so we have to loosen that so we can insert our stem. I'm just going to flip this to the other side, give that screw a couple of turns. The stem goes in, and we can tighten it up. So here we have our movement installed in the case. That's a nice platform to work on. We can finish everything from here. And we have mounting screws on the back side. We can get that installed. I have my, let's see, got a little mat right here. Actually, let's put this on the holder. We're just going to turn that over so it sits on the holder, and we can get right in the center of your screen there. We can mount up the case, the movement in the case. Okay, that's got to get turned a bit. There we go. Is that in the shot? It is. I didn't tighten that all the way. I don't want to do that until we get the other one installed. Everything's laying in the case nicely. Let's come in the shot. There's the other side. Oh, come on. I'm probably out of the shot by now. Just because I got to get close to this. Okay, there you have it. That is in. Let's pull back a bit. That's why I'm having trouble. And our chrono is engaged. Look at that. Okay. Our chrono is running. It's keeping fairly good time. Running at about 300 degrees amplitude, which we kind of expected. That's how it was running before. Okay, now, nice little platform to work on. The buttons are working. Everything's nice and slick. We got that nice little platform. Now, we have the rest of the, well, hardly any gears. One gear to drop in. The hour wheel. I'm going to put a little oil on the cannon pinion. There's the hour wheel. The hour hand's going to mount right to that. And we can test that, make sure it's working smoothly. Why not? Pull the stem. Feels good, nice and slick. I like it. Now, onto the dial. Where's my blower? Here it is. The dial, all I did to it, take some Rotico, walk it around a few times, get any dust that may have accumulated on it, get that off of there. The dial mounting screws are right in here, and the other one's across the way. Lost my washer, my wave washer. There it is. Okay, the dial is ready to drop in. Coming around to the back side, you may have to turn those screws to allow the feet to come through. And that'll mount up pretty much flush with the case. There's no, how do I put it? Nothing to worry about. Just put the, let's do that again just so you see it. The dial mounting screws, they're really not screws. Here's one right here. See if I can get that in the shot. You just give it a turn one way, and it's like a knife-edged cam that digs into the soft dial feet. And I got my fingers on the back side of the dial, the face of it, holding it, and you just take that and you'll feel resistance. You'll feel that knife edge digging, essentially digging into the dial foot. You feel that resistance and you give it a little tug, and there it is. It's pretty simple. Like a cam lock, I'm not sure. I'm just going to call it a wedged type system. Sure, let's call it that. Now we want to wind this up a bit. Because we're going to mount our chrono hands. Maybe we should do that in the next. Let's do that on the next video, because this is running into 13-14 minutes. Let's do that. Let's take our time, get our chrono hands, and then test them, and then we'll have it all set, and then we'll do the hour, minute, and second hands. So stay tuned.